Hey there guys, today we are once again taking a trip into the Happy Hour House of Horror for some Nightmare on Elm Street comics, the first Nightmare on Elm Street comics to be exact. These were released in October and November of 1989 by Marvel Comics. It's a little two-part story written by Steve Gerber, and they're pretty fucking awesome. Story is pretty standard fare as far as Nightmare on Elm Street goes. This lady named Julie is coming back to work in Springwood. She used to live there and she moved away. Now she's coming back because she's got a job at Weston Hills, I believe it's called, which is the psychiatric hospital from Nightmare on Elm Street Part 3. Coincidentally, there's this girl in Springwood named Allison who's being assaulted by Freddy in her dreams. So this lady sets about using this technique called true dreaming that's basically a combination of a bunch of different sort of indigenous people's dream techniques. And basically what it does is the shit from Part 3. It allows you to have control in your dreams up to and including giving yourself dream powers. So naturally she teaches that shit to Allison and they set about trying to, put Freddy down for good, as you would expect. Goes wrong though, because Freddy basically is prepared for this kind of stuff and is still able to take over the dreams anyways. But it's revealed that Allison actually possesses a higher level of dream powers. Instead of just being like a dream wanderer, she's a dream stalker, which is essentially the same thing Freddy is. They're people that have mastered the ability to control their dreams and can actually enter into other people's dreams or go different places within the dream world outside of stuff that they've created in their own mind. We get some backstory on Freddy. Got to keep in mind this is pre-Freddy's dead, so we hadn't had his whole backstory laid out. They do a pretty good job of it, and I would say I actually kind of like the backstory in this one better. Essentially, as we know, his mother Amanda Krueger was raped by 1,000 maniacs in the mental hospital. He was given up for adoption and he was adopted by this couple, but literally the first night that he was in the house, some burglars came in, killed the couple right in front of him and abducted him. They end up selling him to this pimp and his prostitute or whatever, and Freddy lives a horrible life of abuse until he finally murders those people and flees. It's at this point that he masters the ability to control his dreams and live out these sick violent fantasies that he has within these dreams, and then naturally when, the inevitable happened, he got caught and killed, he then becomes the dream demon that we all know and love. This book also introduces the idea that there are other dream demons that exist in this world, and Freddy just happens to be the one that we see popping up through these kids in Springwood. So they do a lot to flesh out his backstory and the idea of this dream world. In any case, psychiatry bitch ends up getting killed. Allison ends up deciding that she's gonna muster all of her power and sort of train herself up over the period of 3 weeks where she can go in there and just kick Freddy's ass. She goes about trying to do that, and she ends up giving herself a Freddy glove and like his outfit and basically becoming him to try to kill him. She's about to do this when she somehow snaps out of the dream world, taking Freddy's hat with her, but in the process she slashes one of the doctors at the psychiatric hospital that she's at, and they decide to put her in like the maximum security ward under heavy sedation, and that's where the book ends. Overall, a very satisfying read. The artwork is great, the writing's even better. They managed to write the comedy for Freddy like they would have in like say Part 3, where it's still got a bit of that sinister edge to it, but it's funny at the same time. It's not as much just cheesy one-liners at every opportunity like what was going on in the movies at this time. So that's nice. Easily could have been a good follow-up for The Dream Child, kind of bring things back around to an earlier film in the franchise and sort of add on top of that. Like I said, I do enjoy the backstory for Freddy in this a bit better than the one we got in Freddy's Dead, so you could look at this as a stand-in for that movie if you didn't enjoy it when it came around. My only real gripe is that we don't get a proper final battle with Freddy in this story. It does kind of end on like a very sort of depressing note, which in a way makes it awesome, but at the same time I would have liked to watch them actually have it out a little bit more. I get the idea based on the ad at the end of the second issue that Marvel had planned to do more Freddy comics, just didn't end up happening, so we had to wait a couple years for Innovation to pick up the license. Definitely a solid companion to the movies in any case. I enjoy it thoroughly and I cannot recommend it enough. So get out there and check this shit out as soon as you can. It's definitely worth your time.